Salute, y'all. It's a lot going on. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Yeah, man, it's been a situation in Michigan at a church, y'all. It's crazy, man. 4 people unalive, including the gunman who basically did it. He drove his truck into the front of the church, y'all. Blasted some people, and then took himself out. It's crazy, y'all. This kind of happened a little bit earlier, but they just gave us breaking news as far as an update on how many people that were unalive and maybe the motive behind this guy doing this, man. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, man. This is everything news. We most definitely in the building, man. Can y'all hear me out there to the ones that's in the building already? Can y'all hear me out there? Let me know that y'all can hear me, man, as we get into these latest and breaking updates on this situation that took place in Michigan, guys. This is crazy, man. It is most definitely crazy. Okay, you can hear me already, y'all. Yeah, let's get into it. Check it out, man. This is one of them ones, man. 4 people unalive, including the gunman. He drove in with explosives, man. Here, yeah, man. They said he used gasoline to set the whole church on fire, guys. Inside of a church, can you believe it, man? I'm still working on why it's popping and stuff. I don't know. Maybe this will help that I done turned it down some. I'm not sure. What it is, I guess it's the latency. I'm gonna have to work on that. What's up, Laquita? Shout out to you as well, man. All right, let me play some of this, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure y'all double tapping that screen. Most definitely getting them likes up and subscribe to the channel if you are new.
News alert. A breaking update out of Grand Blanc Township. We have just learned another person has died in the shooting at a church. At this moment, we know 2 people are
What's
dead.
up, pretty
and at
eyes?
least 8 others are hurt. The suspect is also dead. You're looking live at the scene. The shooting happened at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on McClandish Road in Grand Blanc Township. Police say the shooter drove his car through the front doors of the church, then started firing with an assault rifle. Police believe the shooter then set the church on fire, and they strongly believe they will find more victims once they are able to clear.
That was before they found out he had the explosives inside the truck, guys. They thought at first he had set it on fire, not knowing that he basically blew it up.
The scene. Right now, police have surrounded a home in Burton where they believe the shooter lived. We'll get you a full update from the scene in a moment, but first we want to bring you the very latest from police. We got this update within the last hour on Facebook.
Hi, Chief Rennie, Grand Blanc Township Police Department, here to give you an update on the active shooter situation that we had, and it settled just recently on today's date at 10:25 a.m. So I want to give the community just a brief update. There has been one more fatality due to gunshots. That person had died at a local hospital. As far as reunification, if you're wondering how to reunify with your family member, I want to provide you with a phone number. That phone number is 248-705-7352. That number will lead you to the Red Cross, who is on scene over there at Trillium with several people who were at the church when this incident took place, and they will be able to tell you where your family member is at. For the community, we know that you're hurting right now, and we also want to provide services to our entire Grand Blanc community, starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and all throughout this week at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department. You could come in if there's anything that you're thinking, anything that you want to talk about. We'll have counselors on staff. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. starting tomorrow at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department all week long. So I plan on giving the community an update through a press conference starting at 5 p.m. today, also at the Grand Blanc Township Police Department.
Now we want to get to our team.
A guy ran his truck, and to the people that's asking what happened, a guy ran his truck into a church in Michigan, guys. It was full of explosives. Basically, unalived himself, unalived 3 other people. You know what I'm saying? Just watch close. IGT is gonna be. All you have to do is focus on this young lady's comments right here. She most definitely will be dropping all kind of facts on this situation within the chat. So everybody can be up to speed. But this took place in Michigan at a church. You know what I'm saying? The dude drove his truck through the front door, guys, and basically unalived 3 people, guys. I got all the latest and breaking of the information. Just hold your horses. They giving us a little bit. I'm gonna get y'all to the press conference in a minute, where the police told everything that they knew, man. Y'all continue. Make sure y'all double tap that screen though. Get the likes up, man. Yeah, I'm trying to take out this little lag or whatever that's popping. I don't know what's going on with that. I've been trying for the last 2 days. It's crazy, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Coverage. Nick Monticelli is in Burton, where police have surrounded the shooter's home. And Noel Frio is at a nearby theater where authorities are talking with people who were inside the church at the time of the shooting. Let's start with Nick Monticelli, who's in Burton, just outside. Know what you know so far?
Hey, Will, so actually just about 20 seconds ago, we had to step out of the way for another bomb squad vehicle to get in and down the road. So the suspected shooter's home is on the right side of your screen. So we now have 2 bomb squad vehicles plus the armored vehicle that they just brought in. I just asked a trooper what they call that. He said you actually have to ask the bomb squad. So you've got all of these vehicles plus robots and a drone that have been flying over this home. The challenge here is that when the shooter crashed his vehicle into the Church of Latter-day Saints over in Grand Blanc Township, authorities found 3 IEDs inside of his vehicle. So because of that, they are being very, very cautious.
All right, so we got IGT with the update. She says authorities say a gunman rammed a vehicle through the front of the church during a large service, began shooting, and then initially set a fire that grew into a large blaze, guys. Basically unaliving people inside the the church. People is going crazy, for real.
Cautious about the possibility of more explosives or IEDs inside of the suspect's home. A lieutenant with the bomb squad told me that this home is kind of set back beyond the trees that you can't see from our vantage point, but then there are also kind of outbuildings beyond that. So they have been setting up a drone trying to look around the property to get a better idea of what they might be dealing with. And then you can kind of see just past that new vehicle they brought in there is a SWAT vehicle, and you can't see from this vantage point anymore because of another vehicle they brought in, but there is a battering arm that's on the front of that SWAT vehicle. They'll use that to push in doors, windows, whatever they might need to do to allow the robots to get into that home and try to do some of that searching. Of course, it's better that a robot get destroyed than we lose a bomb squad member or Michigan State Police if they go inside that home and do encounter some kind of explosive. Again, the suspect did live in this home here. He was shot and killed by police, a DNR officer, and a Grand Blanc Township deputy, or police officer, I should say. So they are doing a lot of methodical searching at that home and around this area as well. I just saw more officers on another vehicle going beyond this neighborhood as well, trying to get a better idea of everything that's happening out here. We talked to a few neighbors who live in this area and are not only stunned by what happened this morning, but about the possibility that their neighbor is the suspect.
It's unbelievable. I've never really ever paid that.
Now, listen to this witness, guys. She says she never really paid attention to that house over there, all the people off in it, until today. Check this out, y'all. I seen somebody say something about the Klan was walking in that, marching in the area, allegedly. They say this is a predominantly sundown town, if y'all know what that means. This took place in Michigan a little bit earlier. About a minute ago, they gave us an update. I'm most definitely going to get y'all to that, but I wanted to give y'all the backstory first. Make sure y'all double tapping that screen. Most definitely, that's how you hit the like button, to click those 3 dots and hit that thumbs up, man. This is everything news. We got another mass unaliving situation at a church, this time in Michigan, guys.
Much attention to the house. It's pretty kind of, quiet over here, but it's shocking, and it's just pretty sad that people lost their lives, because you never know nowadays. When you walk out your front door, that you may never come back again, and unfortunately, that's what happens for some people. My prayers go out to their families.
Sad.
All right, back out here live again. You're looking at all of the bomb squad members from the Michigan State Police. I can kind of give you a layout here, and Marty is the man behind the camera here. You can kind of see the awning that is coming off of that first bomb squad vehicle that's parked on the left side of that road. Just underneath of that and beyond that open door that you see is a large monitor And what they do is they can see the robot's point of view and what their drone is seeing and capturing from above. So that's where they kind of hang out to see what is actually happening as they maneuver those robots through. I just saw about a few, probably 5 minutes ago, another robot unload off of the vehicle and make its way towards the home, which again you can't see from this perspective, but again live right now you are seeing more troopers and more officers now from the Grand Blanc Township PD arrive as well.
Honey, they haven't said yet whether it was a black church or a white church. I'm not for sure. It says the suspect is a 40-year-old man from Burton. You know what I'm saying? This took place in Michigan, guys.
The lieutenant told me that they are anticipating that this search of the home, is going to last probably all evening. His best guess was 10, 11 o'clock, maybe even midnight, because again, they're doing this very, very, very slowly because they don't know if there could be an explosive or multiple ones inside that home.
I know you reported earlier on clickondetroit.com that they found explosives inside the suspect's vehicle. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Up to 7 people unaccounted for.
Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot more details outside of that, them finding those IEDs inside the vehicle. Obviously, they did not explode. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a totally different scenario here. But because they found those inside the vehicle, that's why they're being so cautious here. I'm not saying they have found any explosives inside this home or in the perimeter, but what we do know is that because of what they found inside of his car, they're being extremely cautious here. And I do want to point out right behind us, Marty, and we're going to be showing all of our colleagues from other stations, there are now ambulances that are staging along.
So we have Annie that says she lives around this area, and it is a white church that this happened in, guys. Not a black church, but a white church.
Outside of this area as well, just in case something does go wrong here.
Nick, can you describe that neighborhood? Are there a lot of homes nearby? Were people forced to leave their homes as this investigation got underway? And any idea of what time people may be able to return to their homes if they had to leave?
So we're on Atherton right now. Center is about 2 or 3 blocks south of where I'm standing right now. There is a community on the north side of the road beyond those trees. You can't see it here. They are okay. They're kind of sheltering in place. They haven't been told they have to evacuate, but they have been asked to stay inside their homes. And I do know that there was a couple inside of this home right off to my left, which would be your right, who was asked to leave. They went inside, got their 2 dogs, and they left further on down the street. The rest of this, I looked at a Google satellite image, and I saw about 6 or 7 homes in this area.
This is
there were a lot of people that were standing along this tape line here about 2 hours ago trying to get back into their homes. They weren't allowed in. There's probably a number of people on the other side of this road closure as well. But no, as of right now, if they were not home, they are not allowed to go back home. And if they are there, they have been asked to leave.
I know once this happened, you immediately got in your vehicle and started heading that way. Can you walk us through just some of your reporting throughout the day with the stops that you made, what you saw, what you heard?
Yeah, so started at home and then got on 75 and started driving up here. One of the first things I noticed once I got up into the Genesee County area is that there was still some light amounts of black smoke coming from where the church was, and that was about 2 hours after the attack happened. So that tells you that it took the firefighters at that church quite some time, not only to get it under control, but get it contained from spreading. And we do know during the press conference that we listened to that the church is destroyed. My first stop was actually the Grand Blanc Township Police Department to go into that press conference. Originally, it was scheduled for 12:30, but often is the case that when they schedule these things, they get pushed back further and further because as details come in, they want to sort everything out before releasing it to the public. The press conference happened at about 1 o'clock, and that's when we learned that there were 10 victims, that the shooter is from this area, the home right behind me here in the Burton area, and that at the time, 1 person had died. Now, since we learned that, about 2 hours later, that's when there was an update saying a 2nd person had died. But during that press conference, we also learned that when the 911 calls started coming in to the 911 centers, a Michigan DNR officer and a Grand Blanc Township officer were the first to get there, and the police chief said they, quote, engaged the suspect, meaning they shot the suspect and killed him. So of the 10 victims, we have 10 that were shot, 2 that passed away. The rest of them are in either critical or stable condition. And then on top of that, you also have the shooter who was killed as well.
And what struck me at that press conference that there could even be more victims after they clear the scene, after this fire. And just listening to that press conference, people were in church, Sunday worship, 10:25 this morning. A lot of people spend their Sundays in church when this guy drove his vehicle through the church. Is that correct? And then hopped out of his vehicle and just started firing shots.
Correct. Yes, drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church and then started shooting. One of the pieces of
drove his truck through the front doors of the church, guys, and then started shooting. Wow.
Timeline that we're still trying to understand better is if he was able to set the fires, get in his vehicle, and then drive into the church, or if somehow he set the fires while shooting. But yes, you're absolutely right that the shooter did shoot 10 people there, but because of the fire, the first responders, the officers, weren't able to get to many of the victims. So in that press conference, he did say that unfortunately we do anticipate to find more victims. And I asked the chief, I said, normally when you're training in tactical responses like this in active shooter situations, of course your first and foremost goal is to get to the threat, get to that shooter. Unfortunately, even time stepping over victims, because the more time that shooter has to fire, the more victims you're going to have. But I asked him, how does that change when you have a fire going as well? And he kind of said it's a very difficult process, especially when you've got medical personnel who are oftentimes your firefighters working to try to help the victims, but also now putting out a fire as well. It was a kind of a chaotic scene, as you'll see later in some of the video.
And the chief believed hundreds of people.
The church is a man, yeah.
Inside that church.
Yes, hundreds of people were in church at the time. Yes, hundreds of people.
Hundreds of people were inside of that church, guys. Wow.
We also asked how many shots were fired, how many rounds. They didn't have a number on that just yet. We'll probably get some more of that information at the press conference that's supposed to happen at 5 o'clock. But yes, hundreds of people inside the church from what I'm assuming would have been a 10 o'clock service.
And a lot of people are wondering why. I just did a MapQuest. Where you're at is located about 5.6 miles from the church. Any idea, was he a member of the church? Did he know someone from the church? Or police still just trying to piece this together? I know it's still very early in this investigation.
Right, yeah, we don't know any of those details yet. We do have some sources telling us who the shooter is and some of his background. We're not able to release any of that information just yet. But what we do know is that the police chief in that press conference said their next step was to get a search warrant to get inside of this home and see if there was anything in that home that might point them towards the motive.
Okay, I appreciate it, Nick. We'll check back in with you. You're there at the scene in Burden where they're waiting to go inside the home and see what they can find. And, of course, what they find inside the home will help with this investigation. All right, thank you, Nick. Now we want to get out to Noelle Friel. She's at the reunification site. Noelle, what can you tell us about what's going on where you are at this point? Noelle.
Yeah, well, we're at the Trillium Cinema. This is where they've sent the families who were at the church when this shooting happened. I'm going to step out of the way so that we can get a better look here for you. You can see that the crowds have started to die down now. We've been out here for the past several hours. As I'm sure you can imagine, it's been extremely emotional. People hugging, crying. We've seen several cars come by to help pick up the people that need a ride, that don't have someplace to go. And we also have the Red Cross, the Salvation Army on the scene as well, bringing food, bringing drinks for these families who have been trapped here.
That's terrible, guys. Just terrible. What is America coming to, guys? This is horrible.
Throughout the day, we were told that police are interviewing some of the families who were there inside the theater right now, and then they are being taken home. We also did hear from some people who were members of this church, none who were inside when it happened, but obviously incredibly emotional. Hard to wrap your mind around this, how this could have happened when this is your church. I talked to one woman who broke down in tears, just telling me that she was going to go to church today, but ended up being called into work, so she wasn't there purely by chance. Otherwise, she would have been. So you can imagine getting that call was devastating. To hear from her fellow church members what had happened. She left work and she came over here to do anything that she could to help out, to give people rides for whatever they needed. So just incredibly emotional. There's just really no words to explain what these people are going through right now. Will.
Are there a lot of law enforcement on the scene right now? Or a lot of people taking advantage of this?
Reporting breaking news, guys. They're saying that this guy that was responsible for this was an ex-Marine.
This site to learn information.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't heard anything else from police other than that update that we last got this afternoon. So now we're just waiting. We're again told that that next update is going to be happening at a press conference happening at 5 o'clock. And so we're hoping to hear more from police as well as the families that were there as time goes on.
All right, we appreciate it, Noel. So a lot of details to gather with this scene, but we do know 10 people were shot at a church earlier today at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. We're awaiting more information. There will be a press conference at 5 o'clock. Of course, we will bring that to you live. We want to take another live look at Grand Blanc Township Police. That is where that news conference will happen. That is the police station right there. In the meantime, though, we're posting any updates.
This is crazy, y'all. So an ex-Marine ran his truck into a front of a crowded church, guys, into a crowded church, had explosives in the vehicle, guys, and wound up unaliving 4 people, guys. Let's go over here for more information on this entire situation, man. Remember to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 50K. Subscribe if you have not. Most definitely double tap your screen. That's how you hit the like button, you know, and chime in on the conversation in the chat, guys. This is everything we know regarding this situation that took place in Michigan, guys. Eyewitness accounts of what happened, guys. Wow. Y'all can't hear, can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? You can't hear nothing? Oh, man. No audio, man. I wonder what just, man, why I keep doing that. All right, can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me in there? All right, let's try this again. Hold on, y'all. Let's try it again. Hold up.
Two's Camila Mary has been following this
Can y'all hear it now? Let me know.
story all day and into the night. She's live tonight.
Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear it playing? When I play it, hold up. Y'all can hear me, but when I press play, can y'all hear this? Hold on.
Outside the shooter's house with the very latest from investigators.
Can y'all hear that? Okay, all right. I don't know what happened, man. It's something going on with the lag, man. I'm gonna have to find out how to fix that. I don't know what it is going on. I don't know why it's crackling. I don't know. I gotta fix that. This is a brand new program to me, but I'm gonna work on it, guys.
Yeah, we are outside his home in Burton. We're about 12 or so minutes away, miles away, I should say, from the church where this all happened. I want you to take a look at some video. I think you summed it up really well, but this was just a horrific set of circumstances. One horrible thing after another. Police say that it was 10:25 this morning when 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, that is the identified gunman by police, drove his vehicle into the Church of of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc and then started shooting. They say that he started a fire using accelerants and they believe explosives. Altogether, 10 people shot, 2 of them confirmed deceased, and then later they found 2 people deceased from the subsequent fire. Now, the suspect was taken out by police at 10:33 a.m. The suspect was neutralized, as police say. There were 2 police officers on scene 32 seconds after he drove through that church. Police trying to figure out exactly how they were there so quickly. Were they parishioners? That is still trying to be determined and figured out. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. So at this press conference at 8 o'clock, we learned that there were 2 people, additional victims deceased, so altogether a total of 4, not including the shooter, who were found, those 2 people found dead in the church, believed to be overcome by fumes or smoke or flames because a lot of people couldn't get out. Now, there are still some people that are unaccounted for that may still be in there, that may not have gotten.
There are people still missing, guys.
Out. Police have talked about how they were some people trapped inside. This was a 4-alarm fire, a huge blaze that went up so quickly that some people just unfortunately, tragically, were not able to get out. I want you to listen to what the police chief of Grand Blanc Township had to say. And then also, we talked to some people out here in Burton who live nearby the shooter. Take a listen.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of this incident that could have been completely avoided. And it's very tragic, and that's not what our community is. I'm confident that we're going to overcome this, as Grand Blanc always overcomes these type of incidents. I'd also like to acknowledge the heroism of not only the first responders, but the people who were inside that church at the time. They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
It's just unbelievable. I didn't know the guy. I seen maybe once or twice, seen a gentleman bringing the trash to the front. Other than that, nothing. I don't.
They interviewed this lady a couple of times. This is the neighbor of the ex-Marine who drove his truck into that church, guys. Unalived in 3, and including himself.
Know anything about him?
So obviously, they connected him to what happened at the church this morning, which is a really sad thing. I spoke with somebody in the parking lot a little bit earlier, supposedly pretty good friends with him, which I do believe because of the emotions the guy was showing, that this guy was a stand-up guy and would do things for anybody.
It's just unbelievable. You never know what a person is going through. You never know what is going on in a person's mind.
And we've learned that Sanford was a military veteran, that he was a father, a husband, that he was heavily involved in.
There you go. They just gave his name. I think they said Stanford or something like that. Maybe his last name. This is horrible, guys. I wonder what pushed him over the edge.
His son's sporting activities. Everyone we've spoken with is just absolutely devastated and trying to figure out exactly how and why this could happen. Now, of course, right now, police still outside his home. They've been waiting for search warrants to be signed, but also they have to determine that this house has not been booby-trapped, that there are no explosives here, that there are no devices that could go off given the set of circumstances. So they have been out here since this afternoon and will probably be out here well into the night and into the morning until they finally can get this house cleared. For now, we're live in Burton. Camille and Mary, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Camille, we know that this is just the beginning stages, and we also know from that news conference earlier this evening that the FBI is now leading this investigation, calling this a targeted attack. Is there any connection yet that's been made between the shooter and that church?
I mean, you know, right now they didn't take any questions. Well, they did, I should say. They didn't take any at 5 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, they took a few questions, not a lot. But so far, they have not said anything about any connection that he has with this church. We don't know why he targeted this church. A lot more to come. I know that they are still sifting through everything. They've got upwards of 100 FBI agents on the ground here in Grand Blanc. As you said, the FBI heading up this investigation. They have so many people to talk to, so many witnesses, and obviously they need to figure out what was the motive, and that is the million-dollar question tonight.
And more may come once they get that search warrant and are able to get access to the house. Thank you for that live report, Camille. The shooting also shocking a community and what would be a normally quiet.
Wow, it says that Mr. Stanford, it says the man got out of the pickup with 2 American flags raised in the truck bed and started shooting inside of this crowded church, guys. This happened in Michigan, KCL. 3 people unalived that they know of from inside the church, including the gunman, and they're expecting to find other bodies, guys.
Quiet Sunday morning. Fox 2's Roop Raj live tonight outside the church, the scene of the crime. Roop, what can you tell us the latest there?
Well, I can tell you I'm coming from just about 400 yards away from the entrance of that church, completely blocked off, and fire trucks blocking off much of what would be visible right now, and for good reason, because right now that is a crime scene. Think about water, think about fire. Right now, that's all you have behind us, and that charred remain of a crime scene, because sadly, the whole basement apparently is flooded because of this fire, and because of that flooding, because of that water, firefighters are gingerly trying to get through and investigate with what they have behind them, which right now is the charred out remains on that top floor of that church, with water all through that area as well. What they're looking for right now? Well, they're looking for anyone who ended up not being able to make it out of this church. It is such a sad and terrible scene to think just 12 hours ago, prayer goers were actually sitting down in the pews, getting ready for, of course, the service that they were looking forward to, a place of refuge, a place of safety. And sadly, then that truck slammed into it, causing the chaos. Then, of course, the gunfire started on the outside. We ended up talking to someone who says that they heard the truck slam into the church, and they came running out to see perhaps if someone had a medical emergency and they could help in some way.
And prayers for all involved, guys. If you're in the chat, drop those prayers hands for all these families that's involved in this, including the guy who did this, man. I wonder if he was a person that was suffering PTSD, from being like they said, a veteran, man. This is crazy. An ex-Marine, guys, drives his truck into a crowded church in Michigan, guys, full of explosives, y'all, and basically jumps out and starts shooting and catches the church on fire, man. This is sad.
Turned out the very person who slammed that truck in wasn't having a medical emergency, but was apparently the person who did all of this. One of the survivors who was shot at, talking to Fox 2.
Church had started at 10 o'clock. We had our opening congregational hymn. We were getting ready to take the sacrament, and we heard a large, just a loud bang. And then we saw that the front wall, so the front part of the chapel, the wall was cracked. And so we at first figured somebody accidentally had done something. So we started rushing out to go help, and then as soon as I saw the American flags on the truck, and that it was on purpose, and somebody yelled that it was on purpose, I started trying to get people out of the area and away, to disperse away. As soon as I saw the door open with the shooter and with his rifle, that's when I tried to drive away, and that's when he shot at us.
That man was actually shot at. The windshield shattered. So many people were actually obviously stunned when they thought what they were seeing was someone who, again, had some kind of an emergency on the outside. They quickly realized after seeing the flags and indicating that from law enforcement that...
Shout out to the UK, man. Shout out to the UK and all of other countries that are watching us right now. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, man. If you're new over here, subscribe to the channel, guys. Most definitely hit that like button. That's how you... it helps out the channel. Double tap the screen or click those 3 dots and hit that thumbs up, man.
This was clearly someone who was attacking the church. Then many people, of course, ran away. Apparently, this gunman then shooting at some of those folks in the parking lot. Again, just a short ways from where I'm standing right now. Now the scene, firefighters and ATF agents and black SUVs and others are are coming in and out. They have been for the last 4.5 hours since I've been standing out here. What they're doing right now, the important work of sifting through that rubble and obviously trying to figure out how to get into that basement as well that is completely flooded out because of the fire and the ensuing water that had to be put on this fire. And so investigators that have talked to me say that sadly it is highly probable that there are more people that will be found in that church behind us as this investigation does continue. Reporting live in Grand Blanc, Rupraj, Fox 2 News.
Rup, that work will likely take them into the night. And we heard from the news conference that Michigan State Police has received numerous threats, bomb threats at other churches, other 911 calls saying that bombs have been placed. Has that catered the way that they are handling this crime scene in any way?
Well, it hasn't inhibited it, but I can tell you right now that this scene is kind of being handed off in many ways to the feds, right? Because this is now a federal investigation. Yes, Grand Blanc Township Police are helping firefighters. They're doing the work that they have to do. But because of that federal assistance, the church down the road where they had a bomb threat that happened this evening, they're securing that area as well, using help from other nearby police and fire departments to help people know that nothing has gone on there. These threats are hollow threats, but nonetheless, taking away from law enforcement. You better believe anyone who thinks to make a threat to another church anywhere in America or tonight anywhere is going to be held to the highest account of the law, and for good reason.
Yeah, Rip, we've all been through so much tonight. Thank you. Mentioned 4 killed, 8 others wounded. Fox 2's Hillary Golston live tonight at Henry Ford Genesis Hospital in Grand Blanc with the latest on that part of the story, taking care of the wounded here. Hillary.
Yeah, we can give you some updates actually that just came into us. Henry Ford Genesis Hospital did confirm that they did treat 10 patients, 5 who were wounded. They had gunshot wounds, and 5 who were suffering some complications from smoke inhalation.
They treated 10. Golly, y'all, 10 people. Wow. You know, inside, man, this is sad, y'all. What is America coming to?
I've also been working the phones, talking to multiple hospital systems because we're trying to ascertain if any of those people were possibly transported to other places, other Trauma 1 centers, which, as you know, is very key here. Now, we also got some brand new information from the FBI. Very credible sources can give us this info that in this area, not far from where we are, FBI law enforcement going into a gas station.
Can we get 150 on that like button, guys? Click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up. It helps out the channel. We got 800 people and only 133 likes. Let's get the likes up. If you're on a mobile device, double tap that screen or click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up. Don't slow down on the like button. Also subscribe if you are new.
And asking for credit card records, looking for video. That is confirmed information. Now, when we spoke earlier with an FBI special agent who has retired, he was able to give us some detail about what will happen next. The forensic evaluation of all of the information, the digital footprint of the suspected shooter to understand what the motive is. Meanwhile, back here on the scene, the folks who would have been dealing with this, the nurses who are on strike right outside of the hospital, taking this so incredibly hard. Listen. And you are a nurse here.
Yes. Yep. I've been a nurse here for just 3.5 years. Started up in ICU, and then I work labor and delivery now. So
I have said multiple times that my husband is a medical professional and worked in the system for a long time, and he was just totally struck by this tragedy. What was your reaction?
Yeah. Well, my night shifter, I woke up at like 1:30, so it was after everything happened. But I was inundated with lots of texts, and my heart just instantly broke. Like I started crying at my apartment. And we tried to get here, as quickly as we could. By the time we got here, though, a lot of the help was at the Trillium movie theater. Because initially a bunch of the day shift nurses tried to go into the ER and help, started stripping down beds, cleaning rooms, doing what they can, and some hospital administrators turned them away. So we did what we could by helping over at Trillium, because that's where they kind of evacuated everybody. So.
Now, I can also tell you that I was talking to someone who was actually working in a separate hospital system to treat some of the wounded, sort of in a tangential function.
Yes, for y'all who are just getting here, we're covering a situation that took place in Michigan today at a church where a guy ex-Marine drove his truck into the front of the church, hopped out, and started shooting guys. Also had explosive inside the truck that basically exploded and caught the whole church on fire, guys. Unaliving 4 people, and it says 8 wounded in the church attack. This is crazy, y'all. It happened in Grand Blanc LDS Church, guys. That's where it took place at.
The thing that's so critical here is that universal donor blood, O-negative blood. And so what happens is whenever you have a tragedy like this and a mass casualty situation, they're going to activate that protocol to draw on as many assets as possible. We know for a fact at Trillium, for example, the Red Cross was working, coordinating with these hospital systems to ensure that they had that blood, very critical in making sure that a patient is stable. So we know that these hospital systems are working together to hopefully save lives. At last check, everyone is stable except for one person who is in critical condition. Dave?
What struck me from that interview was that woman was holding a candle. Clearly, the ripple effects are being felt far beyond the church walls here. We know that upwards of 100 people were at that service, so it's possible that a lot of people in the Grand Blanc area know somebody connected. You could tell a real sense of community there, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no question of that. It's affecting anyone, I think, who was in a church service today. I mean, that's how I found out about the news. I was in a church service and turned my phone back on and saw that this had happened. It's so devastating. But what happens here in Metro Detroit and really all across Michigan is that the community embraces one another. And we're already seeing that on the heels of a strike, for example. You had nurses who were rushing to try and help. There are no signs out here tonight. There's a reason for that. Yeah. Because they realize that the focus is absolutely on the people who have lost their lives and for the people who are fighting for their lives and hoping to recover, not just physically, but emotionally from this trauma. And I mentioned there that, you know, we have friends in this area. We have worshiped in this area in Grand Blanc. My husband worked in this hospital system for several years. And so that sense of community, it absolutely touches us. And when he heard the news, he just said, I just can't imagine this. I can't imagine what it's like for the people who were touched by this, even if they didn't know someone directly. So our thoughts and prayers, our hearts are with this community tonight. Dave?
Healing is going to...
Prayers for everybody that's involved, guys. Yeah, as they continue to bring updates, I'm bringing them to y'all, man. We watching all of this in real time, man. This is sad, guys. 4 people unalive, 8 injured, and many unaccounted for. Now, I told y'all they did a press conference just a couple of minutes ago, probably like 15 minutes ago, man, and I most definitely got that for y'all as well, as they gave us more updates on this entire situation, man. This is most definitely crazy. Check this out.
In the church, so that makes our total victim count up to 4. As I said before, there has already been the suspect who is deceased as well. So we have 5 deceased persons from this tragic incident.
5. It is 5. All right, so the total is up to 5 now. This is the latest update that they just gave.
To the victims of this incident that could have been completely avoided. And it's very tragic, and that's not what our community is. I'm confident that we're going to overcome this, as Grand Blanc always overcomes these type of incidents. And also the heroism of not only the first responders, but the people who were inside that church. They were shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety.
There were children in
safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are. Law enforcement, again, we were on scene within 30 seconds from that original 911 call. Within 8 minutes, that suspect was neutralized in the back parking lot of the church by a DNR officer and a Grand Blanc Township officer. So where we're at right now, we're working tirelessly. We're working all night on this particular incident. I know that you guys have questions, and it's not only this community, but it's nationwide, all throughout the United States. So we're working hand in hand with our federal partners. So I'd like to introduce FBI Agent Ruben Coleman to you, who he will give you an update on where he's at within the federal investigation. Sir.
Thank you, Chief. My name is Ruben Coleman, and I am the Acting Special Agent in charge of FBI Detroit Field Office, which covers the entire state of Michigan. First, I want to sincerely express our condolences to the victims of this shooting, their families, and this entire community. I would like to also thank Chief Rennie, the Grand Blanc Township Police Department, and all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, other first responders, and the community members for their immediate actions in this situation. This act of violence has no place in our state or anywhere else in our country. The FBI is committed to continue finding out the facts, circumstances, and motives behind this tragedy. I can confirm.
From what I hear, it was a Mormon church. It was a Mormon church.
At this time that the FBI is now leading the investigation and is investigating this as an act of targeted violence. FBI crisis response teams, such as our evidence response teams, SWAT, Special Agent Bomb Technicians, victim specialists were deployed to the scene. We also have special agents who are continuing to conduct interviews and intelligence and professional staff personnel providing research and analysis. I would like to thank them for their work on this case. We ask that members of the public share any information that would assist us in this investigation, and we encourage them to please report to the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov. Any piece of information could be crucial. We ask that you keep the victims of this tragedy, their families, and the entire community in your prayers. Thank you.
Sad, guys. Prayers up. Prayers for all involved.
Thank you, sir. The Michigan State Police continues to respond to several locations throughout the community as we receive additional bomb threats at other locations. Please continue to stay vigilant, and if you see something suspicious, say something.
They're having other bomb threats. That's crazy, guys. They're still, man, y'all, what is going on with the world today?
Call the FBI tip line or call 911 to report suspicious activity. This incident is an active investigation. Investigators are tirelessly combing through evidence under difficult circumstances and working to identify each victim as quickly and accurately as possible. The Family Assistance Center will be open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday and Tuesday at the Genesis Conference and Banquet Center at 805 Health Park Boulevard in Grand Blanc. If you are still looking for missing family members related to this incident, you may call 248-705-7352 for assistance. The FAC is available to everyone in the community, victims, family members.
This took place in Michigan. There was a church shooting today. 5 people unalive, several more injured. Shout out to Lieber once again for that gift. 5 unalive, several injured, guys, by an ex-Marine who took matters into his own hands, drove into the front of the church in his truck, had explosives in the back, jumped out, started shooting inside of the church, and then I guess blew it up in so many words, man. This is crazy.
Victims and community members seeking support who just want to talk. Trained counselors and victim services will be on site.
Yes,
we do not need volunteer counselors at this time, and we are not.
They do have the shooter. He unalived himself. He is unalive with the other people. He is part of the 5 people that were unalived.
Accepting donations of goods at this time. Please continue to monitor the Grand Blanc Township Facebook page for the latest updates. Once verified donation centers are made public, we will put those on the Facebook page. Also, the next update will be provided, update time will be provided on that Facebook page. And we'll open up to questions this time.
Chief, has the church been cleared of bodies of victims? And if you could answer it for me, please.
So, as I said, we're working around the clock now. So, we're working tirelessly to find additional bodies. So, to answer your question, the entire church has not been cleared because it's a total loss due to the fire.
It happened today.
These first responders right now, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to fight through all the debris from the fire. So, no, we have not cleared the entire church just yet.
And I have a quick follow-up. Of the victims, the 4 dead, can you say how many were shot or how many died as a result of the fire?
I could say this: 2 have been shot as a result, or have been shot. 2 of the deceased.
Do you know how many people are unaccounted for?
No, I don't know how many people are unaccounted for at this time. We do know that there are some that are unaccounted for.
Can you explain a little bit about how the fire started at the church?
I will leave that up to the ATF agent Deere.
The question again?
How did the fire start at the church?
For this incident, the fire started basically the suspect. All indications on this investigation are the suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
Was it an IED he may have used?
There are, at this point, I'm not going to comment on IEDs. I will confirm that there were some suspected explosive devices that were located. But as far as using them to initiate the blaze, I can't say that. This scene is actively being investigated by ATF. Most people don't know that ATF is the federal arson police, and we have a team from across the country coming in, our national response team. It is a cadre of expert fire investigators that are coming here from across the country to investigate this scene and get to the cause or the origin and cause of this fire.
Lieutenant Butter, we saw that there was possibly a bomb threat at the Meyer on Ackerton Center yesterday. Is that connected to this? And is the home that we saw being searched over there the home of the suspects?
Yeah, that's all still part of the investigation. Sorry, that is still all part of the investigation. We're still working to determine if any of that is related.
We need 40 more likes, guys. I need 40 more. Y'all either double tap that screen or click the 3 dots and hit that thumbs up. It helps out the channel. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. This is the most latest press conference they did, probably like 15 minutes ago, and I'm bringing it to y'all now, man. Continue to get those likes up if you do not mind.
Can we speak to the motive? We're hearing speculations that it might have anything to do with the Charlie Kirk assassination in Utah.
That's exactly what it is, a speculation, and we won't come to those types of conclusions for some time.
So they asked, do they think it's tied to the Charlie Kirk situation?
Again, part of the investigation, we're not going to speculate at this time. Right now, we are working tirelessly to recover the victims of this incident and reunite families. Please be patient as we work through that process.
Were the law enforcement officers there close to the scene and how they were able to respond so quickly within just seconds?
Thankfully, yes.
Were there any additional bomb threats? Is there anywhere that we should be aware of?
The community should remain vigilant, and anytime they see something suspicious, they should report it immediately.
There's at least one other report that a local church was searched by the bomb squad.
We've searched multiple churches this evening for bomb threat protocol, yes.
Is that based on actual threats?
Yes, they got the shooter. He unalived
calls
himself.
About bomb threats or other indications that there was a bomb at a different location. Some of them were churches, and we've responded and cleared those locations.
Did those threats come after the suspect was killed at the church?
Yes.
Was there an officer at the church already?
I think that's part of the investigation. Do you have a comment on it?
Were those LDS churches where bomb threats were, or were there other denominations?
I can't answer that at this time, but.
What else can we say about the suspect? You know, you're not going to talk about motive yet, but what else can we say? Anything about him at all?
Right now, what we'd like to do is talk about the heroism that we saw today, the people who responded in such a valiant way to protect the others, both law enforcement, fire department, EMS. Everybody did an excellent job working together to keep people as safe as they possibly could.
We stopped by Holy Family
Thank you,
Catholic
Will.
Church, and there was a heavy police presence there. Is this at all connected to one of those bomb threats? suspects that you're
We
mentioning?
need 4 more likes to hit 300, guys. 4 more, y'all. Double tap that screen.
I don't have knowledge of that exact location. Okay. That's going to be all for questions. I thank you for coming and appreciate the assistance.
Thank you.
All right, so that was all from the most recent press conference they did, man. You know what I'm saying? Where they basically outlined everything that was going on, man. We also got some of the neighbors' reactions to the situation that took place today. Let's go here, guys. This is everything that I know regarding this situation that took place in Michigan, where this ex-Marine who was 40 years old, guys, ran his truck into the front of the church, hopped out, and started shooting, guys. And basically, either he had a bomb or a lot of gasoline and set the whole church on fire, unaliving 5 people. Basically, 4 people were people that was from inside the church. He made 5 because he unalived himself. Hold up. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. Hold up, y'all. Let me bring it back up.
In the shooting, and so far, Henry Ford says the hospital was briefly on lockdown due to this active shooter situation, and then that lockdown, of course, was lifted.
And we have multiple crews on scene responding. We do have 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham. He's in Burton in front of the alleged suspect's home. Let's go to him now. Darren, what are we learning?
Yes, so I can tell you that we are about 8 miles from, so we're at this outside the suspect's home, 8 miles from the church. That's about 18 minutes. And so I'm actually joined by a couple of residents here in Burton. Jason and Jennifer, how are you?
Good. Well, I mean, pretty somber day for what's going on close to home now, but right.
This is one of his neighbors, guys.
Very upsetting to know that it's right in your backyard.
Yeah, it was a Mormon
it's
church
terrible
in Michigan.
What's happening?
Okay, and you all are live pretty closely to
Yeah, we're roughly a mile from here, so
okay.
When you heard all the sirens and see the
Going by
helicopter,
our
it's like,
house.
you know, what's going on?
Okay.
So rushed over here to see what was going on. And that was before it was even publicized, you know, that he lived in this area. I'm like, I'm going to check that out, see what's going on.
Okay.
So that's what we did.
Imagine it's a small town. Do you know, I don't know if you know the suspect or know anyone who knows the suspect or any
Don't know the suspect, but I just was speaking with somebody in the church parking lot back over here that is a really good friend of his. Said he was a true stand-up guy, would do anything for anybody, and he has no clue why something like this, you know, would happen or why.
That's crazy, man. He looks similar to this guy. This ain't him, but this is somebody that says they didn't know him, but knew people that did know him. I guess this is like a small town. This is crazy, y'all. This is just sad. I don't know what the motive was. I don't think they've said it yet. But man, y'all, it was children off in there as well. I haven't heard any casualties when it comes to the children, man. But this is just crazy, man, for real.
He would go this way because of the type of person he was. So it's just society's getting bad. We got to do something.
She said, look at his arms.
All right.
Hold
Thank
on.
you so much.
Let's see. Well, I just see one tattoo. It looked like a bird or something like that. Hold on. She say, look at his arm. A lot of people are reporting that this may have been some form of some Klan activity. Yeah, I don't know how true it is. Let's see if I can get a better shot of his arm. Y'all see that tattoo on his arm right there? I don't know what that symbolizes. I don't know what that means. But she says allegedly there are Klan stamps everywhere. I don't know how true that is. Don't give me the line. I'm gonna say allegedly. But that's what Annie is saying in the chat, and she says she doesn't live too far from there. Yeah, man. Wow, guys. Wow, man. Faxma here. He sure do look like that guy. Absolutely. They look alike, but that's not him. The suspect actually took himself out the game.
Jennifer, all right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Carolyn Runa, I'll go ahead and toss this back to you, but we will continue to stay out here. You can see behind me here, law enforcement, several agencies, state police bomb squad, FBI, local PD, they are out here. They've got the drone up in the air. We saw, as I mentioned earlier, a device, some type of device robot that they had go towards the home to try and safely do what they need to do safely in order to get into the home to try and get some answers in this situation.
Wow, guys. Yeah, so it was a very active scene today, guys. Very active. More on this situation as well, man. We exercised the Fair Use Act of 1976 on all videos played. This is for news reporting and educational purposes only, guys. All right, we got another one. Let's go.
So far.
Well, you just laid a lot of it out right there, right? So they're talking about hundreds of people were inside of a church when this 40-year-old male suspect,
Hundreds of people
rammed the front doors of the church, went inside.
No, bless. It was a Mormon church. It was a white church, bless.
By law enforcement, but like really what's so difficult here for law enforcement is that fire that they believe was deliberately set that sort of pushed them back, and what they were able to do a bit, as you've heard, they just got that fire out about within the hour.
We did look like him, didn't we? I know, I said the same thing, but that was not him.
Of the church building, so you can imagine you're already dealing with an active scene, an active gunfire scene with hundreds of individuals on site, and then you add in a fire with a partial collapse. That complicates it even more than it already was. That's also why officials are saying right now, tragically, that they do believe that they will be finding more victims here. They didn't say whether they would be alive, hopefully, or deceased, but they did say
this was from a little bit earlier, guys, when they was giving
that
information.
There were some people, unfortunately, trapped, unable to get outside of the building. Those were the words of the law enforcement official you just heard right there. So a very complex, very dynamic, as you said, hundreds of family, law enforcement, all on scene here, 100 FBI agents responding to what was just described as a very complex, dynamic, active scene right now. The chief there saying that this was still preliminary information and that they would be getting more as it goes on.
And we heard the chief say that this shooting began at 10:25 a.m. That's when church starts. This is a massive church. He said hundreds of people were inside right now, obviously taking part in the service. When the shots rang out, obviously when the officer said the suspect allegedly ran his feet
Yes,
into the
guys,
front door
wow,
of the
and they're
exit,
still
began
getting
shooting. I wanna turn
information right
to
now as we
Brad
speak.
Garrett. Brad, what are the first steps in an investigation like this? What are you watching for as all the facts start to come out and things begin to unfold?
So the first thing, obviously, is determine that, yes, he did this alone. And secondarily, are there any additional devices around the church, or, as you mentioned earlier, they're doing a search of his residence, what might be there. Obviously, the house may give them some key points, things that he's written, things on his computer.
That's the church when it was on fire,
inflammatory devices of some sort. Because, it looks like to me, again, this is so preliminary, is that he shot a fair number of people. If he had an automatic weapon and he had people in church and there were hundreds of them, I would have thought there would have been more people shot, which would suggest that if he started the fire, that's what he was doing before law enforcement arrived and engaged him. But once you've got everything to a safe level, then obviously you have to figure out, what do we have here? Assuming there's nobody else connected, are there people, obviously, that know this person? Was there information that he possibly was going to go do something like this? That's another part of this investigation. But, the real key here, obviously, is how could he have done what he did? And it looks like to me that part is pretty simple. He just literally drove his truck. It's like somebody walking into a school or a place of business and just using an assault weapon.
I forgot his whole name. It was
sadly,
something
we've had to talk about too much.
Stratton or something
So,
like that.
all of these things kind of have to go together at the same time. The FBI probably are sending their evidence response team. I'm going to guess this is a rural part of Michigan. The FBI have trained evidence response teams in every field office, so they'll probably come. They mentioned that there's hundreds of people to interview. The FBI will help with that, as well as ATF. The key elements for ATF and FBI are what started this fire, because that can help them through this investigation. And obviously, they have to do, these are really morbid type searches where you have to go through and literally find people that died in a fire. But all that will have to be done in a meticulous fashion, because every aspect of this case, as you move through it, sort of laser plays into each other as far as motive, inflammatory stuff used, the weapon, and it all goes together to show me.
Shout out to that Miss Pooh Bear for that $2. She said, smack that like, share, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. His name was something. Let me see if I can pull some up on him in a second. I'm pretty sure they done gave some info. We'll most definitely get his whole entire name. They gave it to us a while ago, but I forgot the whole name. But yeah, we gonna pull it up for you.
Maybe what you have here. And again, as I mentioned earlier, secondarily,
James
if he is connected
Stanford.
to
Let's
anybody,
go, Will.
you know, what were the motivators for him to do this today?
It's 5 now.
And the thing that
It's
we're
5
focusing
people.
right now is the swell of the federal response already making their way to Grand Blanc.
It's 5 people that's unalive now, Nikki, just so you know. It's no longer 4, it's 5.
Michigan. We heard the chief of police there say that those 100 FBI agents are already on their way. And we're now seeing the response from Attorney General Pam Bondi, who released a statement on X. I want to read that real quick. Releasing a statement saying, I'm receiving briefings about what appears to be a horrific shooting and fire at an LDS church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. FBI and ATF agents are en route to the scene now. Such violence at a place of worship is heartbreaking and chilling. Please join me in praying for the victims of this terrible tragedy. Brad, this follows the mass shooting at a Catholic church in Minneapolis just back in August. How can people stay safe when they're trying to worship?
It is a huge, huge dilemma. I mean, if you look in particular at how the how different faiths have taken on different forms of covering themselves as far as security, hiring off-duty law enforcement in uniform to be at the church. I mean, you know, some churches, obviously, folks of the Jewish faith in particular. I've done security audits at 2 different churches or synagogues here in D.C. about what they can do, in fact, if they have a situation where somebody tries to get in the church. You know, the problem with what this guy did, you know, assuming a truck would fit through the front door of other churches, I mean, that's pretty, even if the place had law enforcement there, if he just literally drove his truck into it, that's a whole different, you know, situation. But having said that, people are going to have to think, in particular, do they really need more security, or at least somebody outside of the perimeter that could slow down, detour, whatever it might be, someone that has ill intent to come into the church. The problem with that, obviously, is that can be expensive. Even doing structural things to a church can be expensive to make it more difficult to get into. So, you know, this question gets asked of me almost every day of what can we do? Why should we be scared? And I say the answer is you shouldn't be scared, but you need to be prudent. And you know,
all right, let's slow this guy right here down before he put me to sleep. Let's hop right over here, guys. There is I just found something latest and breaking from Detroit, guys. The place where it's taking place at, most definitely this is from an hour ago. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give us a lot more details. Let's go over here.
News at 10. As we come on the air, we continue to follow the latest developments from the mass shooting at a Grand Blanc Township church. At least 5 people are dead, including the suspected shooter. 8 others were injured.
There you go. 5 unalive, 8
Jacob Stanford accused of setting fire to the Church of Jesus Christ.
They just said his name. Tom Jacob Stanford, I think was his name, guys. Listen close.
30-year-old Thomas Jacob Stanford.
Thomas Jacob Stanford.
Township church. At least 5 people are dead, including the suspected shooter. 8 others were injured in the attack.
40-year-old Thomas Jacob Stanford accused of setting fire to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, ramming his truck carrying 2 American flags.
There go a picture of the truck, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 10. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
I'm Rudolph Snyder. First responders continue to comb through the debris of the church. FBI agents and Michigan State police officers are in Burton searching the suspect's home for evidence.
They have been on the scene for hours now, working to get more details about a possible motive and details on how the suspect carried out this horrific crime. We do have team coverage live from Grand Blanc Township tonight and from the suspect's home as we dig for more information.
7 News Detroit anchor Mike Duffy outside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Mike, what a tragic day for the entire community.
Ruta, Carolyn, it really is a tragic day.
This is from an hour ago,
so we want
guys.
to break down what we know so far. We know the attack happened this morning at 10:25 a.m. at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. We know 2 people were shot and killed. 2 other bodies were found in the church in the fire aftermath. The suspect was shot and killed by police at 10:33, just 8 minutes after receiving the call from police. Now, police say the suspect is 40-year-old Iraq War veteran and former Marine Thomas Jacob Sanford from Burton. Thomas Jacob Sanford served 4 years in the Marines from June 2004 to June 2008. He had 1 combat tour in Iraq.
All right, so this is some facts on
in the fire
the
aftermath.
suspect.
The suspect was shot and killed by police at 10:33, just 8 minutes after receiving
He was unalived by the police.
Call from police. Now, police say the suspect is 40-year-old
Thomas Jacob Stanford, 40, from Burton. Veteran of Iraq War, served in Marines from 2004 to 2008. This is the alleged gunman right here, Thomas Jacob Stanford. He was 40 years old.
Iraq War veteran and former Marine Thomas Jacob Sanford from Burton. Thomas Jacob Sanford served 4 years in the Marines from June 2004 to June 2008. He had 1 combat tour in Iraq in 2007, 3 months before leaving the Marines. We'll, of course, update you as more details on the suspect become available. But we want to get right out to 7 News Detroit reporter Tiara Braddock in Grand Blanc Township with the latest developments. Tiara?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, the police gave us an update about those victims and also about the suspect. Now, they said that there could be more victims, but they just don't know yet. They have not cleared the church, and they say there are some people unaccounted for.
It's all the
now,
same
this just
thing.
adds to the already overwhelmingly emotional day this community is experiencing.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of this incident that could have been completely avoided.
Chief William Rennie gave a brief update Sunday evening on the Grand Blanc Township shooting. Unfortunately, 2 more people have died. He did not specify whether or not it was from gunshot wounds or from the fire at the church. He added that the church is a total loss and it has not been cleared yet.
These first responders right now, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to fight through all the debris from the fire.
We also learned the FBI is leading this investigation and are looking into it as targeted violence. The ATF is also assisting.
All indications on this investigation are the suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
And Chief Rennie also wanted to acknowledge the heroic actions of law enforcement and the members who were inside the church at the time of the shooting.
They were shielding the children who are also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
Now, as you heard the police chief say, there were hundreds of people in that church. Now, if you have a family member or a friend or someone that you are not able to get in contact with and you think they are at the church, I want you to call this number. It's 248-705-7352. I'm going to repeat that again, 248-705-7352. Now, call that number so you can try to figure out some answers with police. But for now, I'm Grand Blanc, Tiara Braddock, 7 News Detroit.
To think about all those children in the church at the time of that shooting. Now we want to turn to 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham, who is live in Burton. That's where law enforcement have been searching the suspect's home and property for hours. So Darren, what does that scene look like tonight?
Yes, good evening, Mike. The state police bomb squad left at right around 8:45. At the same time, at least a dozen unmarked law enforcement vehicles drove into the scene here to include a crime lab. It's in the driveway at the moment. It's obviously dark now, but I want you to get a look at what we're seeing. This is the
best view we can get for you. Now, at one point, there were a couple dozen Sanford's driveway here, so investigators at this point are in the home searching for clues. We know that the FBI has taken the lead on this investigation. Now, I want to give you a little bit more background on the suspect. Here's what we know so far about him. He's a 40-year-old Iraq War veteran, as has been stated, according to officials. Sanford served 4 years in the Marines from June of 2004 to June of 2008, according to the U.S. Marine Corps. He ultimately wrote.
This is him right here. This is the Stanford guy down at the bottom of the screen right there. That is a picture of the dude who is alleged to be the gunman. I just put him down at the bottom right there. If y'all can see him, that is him right there. That is a picture of him. That's the same picture I have on my thumbnail. I just put it down there so y'all can know what he looked like. This is the guy right here that basically drove his truck into the front of that church and jumped out and started shooting at people inside of the church, guys. That's his picture down there at the bottom.
Rose to the rank of sergeant and served one combat tour in Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom, in August of 2007. That battle in particular was known to be volatile. He discharged from the military in March of 2008, and according to the Marine Corps, Sanford was given the typical recognition for those of his rank. Now, the ATF addressed the fire that was set at the church by the suspect. Here's what they had to say.
All indications on this investigation are the suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
Was it an IED he may have used?
There are, at this point, I'm not going to comment on IEDs. I will confirm that there were some suspected explosive devices that were located.
Don't know the suspect, but I just was speaking with somebody in the church park.
That's the dude I said a while ago that look a lot like him, don't it? They got them beards in common. Now, Annie pointed out a tattoo that's on this guy's arm right here, and basically said that this guy looks like he might be part of the Klan, allegedly. I'm just saying, this guy right here. When I blew it up, you can't see his arm. But yeah, whatever that tattoo is, she's saying that is some kind of Klan stamp, allegedly.
Parking lot back over here that is a really good friend of his. Said he was a true stand-up guy, would do anything for anybody, and has no clue why something like this, would happen, or why he would go this way, because of the type of person he was.
Now, that gentleman was referring to a church here near Sanford's home. We're about 8 miles from the church where this incident happened. Now, coming up on 7 News at 10:30, you will hear from another neighbor, a gentleman who interacted with the suspects a number of times. You will hear what he had to say. So you'll want to come back.
Correction. She says he got a Confederate flag on him, too. Okay, bet.
Mike, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Darren, of course, we are in the early stages of this investigation. We've also been hearing the heart-wrenching stories of survivors in Grand Blanc all day long. Earlier today, 7 News Detroit reporter Faraz Javed spoke with a man who was inside the church and was injured while trying to get others to safety. Take a listen. What happened?
So we were driving away. We were trying to gather as many people as we could. There was a couple of elderly ladies that we were trying to get into safety, so we got them into our car. I saw the active shooter come out of the building, and at that point, I just started trying to drive away. He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me, and luckily everybody else. I think this is just glass shrapnel that got me. And then we got out, and then now we're just trying to kind of find out why and how and what happened.
How are you right now?
Shocked. I think I'm just sad. I'm worried about people that we attended church with, that we don't know the status of them. I think it's just confused, I guess, right now is probably what I'd say. You see this kind of stuff all the time, and you just think, I guess it could happen, but no, not really. It makes no sense. It never will make sense why this kind of thing happens. As soon as we found out that he slammed into the building on purpose, I was pretty sure that then he might come out with guns drawn, and so we started running. I gathered as many people as we could, and I was driving out of the parking lot to safety when he started shooting at us.
Some absolutely heart-wrenching stories right there. I want to bring in 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wembley. He has been live on the scene of today's mass shooting. So, Randy, what more can you tell us?
Yeah, Mike, as you can imagine, this shooting, this attack has really struck a nerve in this community. And as a result, it's really spurring a lot of generosity and compassion from people in it and strangers as well. A local church held a prayer vigil in support of the victims this evening. And prior to that, I caught up with a couple of members of another church who brought water and food for victims and first responders here. They were at another church about 10 minutes from here when the attack happened. As soon as they learned about it, their entire congregation began to pray for the church here. And some of those members were compelled to go a step further. Take a look.
Sad, y'all. Sad.
It's sad that we're not surprised when this happens. And it was special to us this time because out of all of them, this one got close to where we, went to church also. And regardless of what denomination or political affiliation we have, we need to show support as a community
for your mom,
and as people of faith to support what happens here. And so we want to come up and see what we could do.
And they are not alone. Crisis counselors are being made available tomorrow and Tuesday at the Henry Ford Genesis Health Club and Wednesday through Friday at the Grand Blanc Senior Center from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Also, a family assistance center will be available for the victims of this tragedy. And that's going to take place at the Genesis Conference and Banquet Center tomorrow and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
All right, Randy, certainly the ripple effects are being felt across all communities, especially faith communities tonight.
That's right.
All right, thank you for that reporting. Now, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints releasing a statement today saying, quote, "A tragic act of violence occurred today at a chapel of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan." They go on to say, quote, "We are deeply grateful for the outpouring of prayers and concern from so many people around the world. In moments of sorrow and uncertainty, we find strength and comfort through our faith in Jesus Christ. Places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all involved. We know many people were trapped in that burning church and separated from their loved ones in the chaos. If you're searching for a family member, please call the number on your screen, 248-705-7352. That number again is 248-705-7352.
So they still have people that are not accounted for, guys. I mean, there are still people missing, to the point they have put out this number for people to call to basically try to either contact, they can get them in contact with their family members. Man, this is sad, y'all. Such a terrible situation that took place in Michigan.
And for now, authorities ask that you only call if you're looking for a direct family member. Carolyn, Ruda, early moments of this investigation, but slowly information is coming out. Hopefully it can give people a little bit of comfort and solace tonight. Back to you guys.
And they need a lot of that, a lot of thoughts and prayers to that community tonight as we've been seeing so much pain and listening to so many people. But the one thing, a lot of neighbors, helping neighbors, a lot of people in that community coming together to make sure at least those they could touch felt support. So that was very, very important. Thank you so much, Mike. We'll talk to you in just a little bit.
Yeah, a little positive coming out of such tragedy today, but there are still so many questions, a motive, the identities of those victims. We are working around the clock to get you that information.
Make sure you stay with us on here and online at W.
It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy, man. I guess the whole world is pretty much, the United States is tuned in because Trump most definitely came out and spoke on this as well, guys. Let's go over here to see what Trump had to say about this tragedy, guys.
From Burton. He's a male. He drove his vehicle through front doors of the church. He then...
If you're wondering what this guy looks like, that is him at the top of the screen up there. That is the guy. That's the alleged gunman who was unalived by police after driving his truck into a packed church, guys, in Michigan and opening fire, guys, and then setting it on fire.
Exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals at this time, including one who has been deceased.
We continue to get more information about the church shooting and attack that took place in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Obviously, one deceased thus far among the at least 10 victims, and we also know that there are a number of them that remain in critical condition at this hour. Unfortunately, more victims, all the more likely. And with more on that, we want to welcome back correspondent Brian Yennis. Brian, you were watching the news conference earlier. I guess we'll get more information at 5 p.m. What else can you tell us about the shooter and about the unfortunate circumstance that surrounds yet another violent attack in this country?
Well, Kevin, we know from that press conference that the FBI has about 100 agents on scene helping local law enforcement as they are now going to retrace this shooter's steps, the 40-year-old from Burton. They did not release his name, as you astutely pointed out in the last couple of minutes, and that is because
they did release it. We got it a while ago. What did somebody type it in the chat? What did they say this guy's name was so I can put it on the screen? This was from a bit earlier where Trump basically came out and spoke on it. I just wanted to give y'all what Trump had to say about all this. But somebody typed the shooter's name in the chat for me so I can put it on the screen because we most definitely have it.
We believe that the FBI is now going to search not only his online history, but also go to this shooter's home where they're going to try to figure out and find some sort of motive behind this horrific shooting.
I got his name. I went back and found it again from one of the clips I played earlier. The shooter's name, this guy that's at the top of my screen, his name is Thomas Jacob Sanford. He's 40 from Burton, Michigan. He's a veteran of the Iraq War and served in the Marines from 2004 to 2008. His name is Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40 years old, guys.
This morning, we know that this shooting started at 10:25 this morning. The suspected shooter rammed his car through the front door.
They asked how did they get him? Well, the police shot him. That's pretty much all we know now. I don't know exactly how they got him. They just said he was unalived by the police.
Of this church. At some point separately, this shooter started a fire in that church that consumed the entire church. When that shooter exited his vehicle, he used his assault rifle, opened fire, shot 10 people. One person died. 9 people are at the hospital, some in critical condition, others in stable condition. And there is an unknown number of victims who unfortunately perished inside of that fire. The chief of police saying that this was a fire that may have trapped people on the second floor of this church. There were hundreds of people at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan, when all of this happened. They were there worshiping with their families, multiple generations of people obviously and their families there. So a horrific situation. At this point, we are now getting a reaction from this. Latest reaction now from a spokesman for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who released a statement calling this a tragic act of violence that occurred today. They are deeply grateful for the outpouring of prayers and concern from so many people around the world. In moments of sorrow and uncertainty, we find strength and comfort through our faith in Jesus Christ. Places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all involved. And that, again, a spokesman for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who just released that statement for what happened at this church about 60 miles northwest of Detroit, just south of Flint, Michigan. As the shooter is down, and all thanks to the heroic work of 2 local law enforcement officers who arrived on scene and immediately engaged with this shooter, shooting and killing the suspect. This is what they are trained for, despite the fact that there was an ongoing massive...
Can we please get some more likes on the screen, guys? Double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device, or click those 3 dots, hit the thumbs up. It helps out the channel. Shout out to everybody in the building. Once again, the shooter's name, the shooter was 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford of Burton, Michigan, guys. He is the one at the top of my screen responsible for all of this that we're looking at right now. Prayers for everybody involved, guys. Get those likes up.
Blaze that consumed that entire church. They engaged with the immediate threat, which was that shooter. And I'm sure we're going to learn more in the coming hours of how many lives perhaps were saved because of those heroic actions of those 2 police officers. We are also getting response from the President of the United States, who says that he was briefed on what he calls a horrendous shooting. And he also says that not only is the FBI immediately on scene, but also this point. The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn, the president says. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. The president, perhaps, obviously there, making note of the fact that there was that horrific fire.
Well, that's what Trump say. One more time. This is what Trump said.
The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn, the president says. This appears immediately on scene, but also this point. It also says that not only is the FBI immediately on scene.
He says, I have been briefed on this horrendous shooting that took place at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on scene and will be leading the federal investigation and provide full support to the state and local officials. The suspect is unalived, but there is still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. President Trump, guys.
But also this point. The suspect is dead, but there is still a lot to learn, the president says. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately. The president, perhaps, obviously there, making note of the fact that there was that horrific fire in August 27th. About a month ago, almost exactly, a mass shooting at the Annunciation Catholic Church that killed 2 people and injured many others in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we don't know the motive yet officially. We will hopefully learn more when the FBI and local law enforcement hold that press conference at 5 p.m. today. But right now, it's prayers for those victims, and as we know that there are perhaps an unknown number of victims as well in that fire. Kevin.
Great stuff, Brian Yanis. Appreciate that. Again, the president saying this appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. Again, you heard Brian make mention of what happened over in Minnesota. And again, as I pointed out throughout the afternoon, there have been a number of targeted attacks on Christian, not just Christians all over the globe, but in particular Christian churches in Europe. We want to bring in former D.C. homicide detective.
Absolutely not. We're not going to bring in anybody, because I just found some live coverage of basically what's going on over there right now as we speak. It says that they're alive right now. Trip me out. Hold on. Let me go to it. Hold up. It's right here. All right. So it's some live coverage going on, guys. It's only been on for 8 minutes. Let's check this out. They got live coverage of this situation that we're covering right now. That's crazy. All right. Hold on. Let me go to it.
Walk in and
hold on, I guess they're doing a complete rundown. It says President Russell M. Nelson dies at
but that is some
101.
perspective. Shelby, thank you.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also issuing a statement tonight on this tragedy that was spelled out of Michigan, calling it a tragic act of violence. And it reads in part here, we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of prayers and concern from so many people around the world. In moments of sorrow and uncertainty, we find strength and comfort through our faith in Jesus Christ. Places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all involved.
We will continue to follow the latest developments on this investigation. And of course, Dan will stay there and continue bringing live coverage from Michigan. Be sure to download the KSL Plus app so that you can stay up to date on our coverage.
This must be the guy that they're talking about that passed away. It said, you just seen it flash across the screen. Look, I'm going to try to stop it.
To date on our coverage.
President Russell M. Nelson, 1924 to 2025. This is the guy that they're saying that passed away. It says President Russell M. Nelson passes away at age 101. Oh, okay. They talking about him passing away and what took place in this. Okay, so he didn't pass away at the church. No, they just saying they put them both together. Okay, I misunderstood what they said. My bad, but they did say that they had live coverage of what happened. Most definitely gonna stay with it.
It's the Lord's church, and
whoever they
He directs it by revelation through those that we sustain as prophets.
The loving, kind, thoughtful, and just the smart way he went about everything.
I think he was a giant. He must go down as one of your very, very great
Man, did I misread
presidents. Or prophets you call them, don't you? Yes. I love the man.
President Russell M. Nelson passed away at 101 in Michigan. And man, I don't know what they got going on. This is something else. Paying tribute to President Nelson. They paying tribute to him, but I guess it started out talking about what happened.
Also say church members did what they could to protect those around them.
But the people who were inside that church at the time,
yeah, I don't know what they
were
got going on.
shielding the children who were also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
Now, as part of the investigation, Michigan State Police bomb squad units surrounded the suspect's home. SWAT teams then used robots to search the house. Investigators say improvised explosive devices were found at the scene of the attack. No word what police found at the suspect's home. Again, that investigation still continuing at this hour. The last press conference was just a few hours ago, and at that press conference, they talked a little bit about continuing to kind of dig through the rubble there to see if there are possibly more victims. We're along the roadside right here in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Up just behind me, a roadblock. Just beyond that roadblock is where that church is located. Again, people never expected something like this. We do have some.
All right, so we have Annie who is in Michigan. She says she's watching her local news, and she says, "Mex, I'm listening to my local news. They saying he had a hate for certain groups, guys. So yeah, man, he has some hatred in his heart. Man, I wish I knew what news station is you watching, Annie? What news station are you watching? Maybe I can pull it up. It said his family won't say, but they just said groups. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we ain't going, you should have just put the N word. Don't even, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy, y'all. Hey man, people are losing their mind these days. And if he had prejudice against black people, why he go to a predominantly white church and do what he did? That's just crazy.
Sound apparently of 911. We'll toss to that.
I need manpower up here ASAP. I have people trapped in the building. Repeat, people trapped in the building.
This is the 911 call, guys.
We got children inside too.
Yeah, those were the scary moments for people here, people running for their lives. We've heard a lot of different stories about people and the things that were happening inside that chapel. Again, just a horrific thing that happened here earlier today in this small town where you heard from people saying this is a place they felt very safe, a house of worship where they're worshiping God, and then this happens. Mike and Dini, of course, will be out here following this investigation, and we're live right now in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Back to you.
Yeah, just the sheer terror as you hear that and what the adults, the kids had to go through. Dan, thank you.
This attack in Michigan is impacting church members everywhere. News specialist Shelby Lofton spoke with a former missionary who served in the area and spent time in that chapel.
Shelby has more on the reaction here tonight. Shelby, what do you got?
Mike and Dini, this young man served in the Michigan-Detroit mission just a few years ago, and he told me he spent nearly every day inside that chapel in Grand Blanc, and he said to see it go up in flames today was gut.
Do y'all think that this was basically somebody said it in the chat act of terrorism, guys, by a person from the United States, man. Boy, I'm telling y'all, man. Yeah, to me, it is a terrorist act. I'm just gonna say it.
Wrenching.
My home away from home is being attacked.
Former missionary Charlie Gardner knows this church building inside and out.
We'd spend every day there. We would teach lessons there to people wanting to learn more.
The Utah native says before his mission, he'd never heard of Grand Blanc, Michigan. It quickly won him over.
There's like a little pond, like right behind the church. So we would go there on, preparation days and just fish.
He says the ward is full of strong families, and many of the members are resident doctors.
When we'd bring people to church, we were confident that they would be welcome.
It's hard for him to see images of the meeting house up in flames.
For someone to just walk in and do what they did, it's revolting.
On what was already a difficult day for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this added to their grief.
It really is gut-wrenching to just see families be broken because of somebody committing a hateful act.
Gardner doesn't want this building to be remembered for this.
We need to remember the Christ-like attributes that these wonderful people have, the families involved, and just how we put our best foot forward as disciples of Christ.
Now, Gardner told me that he knows of two people who were shot at that church today, a father and his child. He said he hasn't been able to get in touch with them.
I said that we hadn't heard anything about no little ones. Now we just heard that the guy right there just said that he knew two people that were basically shot at that church, a father and his child, man. So there is at least one little one involved in all of this that we know of now. I hope that everything is good with that baby, man. Wow.
Them personally, but he was told they are in stable condition. He just doesn't know it for himself quite yet. A feeling many people across the country can likely relate to tonight. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, it has to be hard for people like him, but that is some valuable perspective. Shelby, thank you.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also issuing a statement tonight on this tragedy that was felt out of Michigan, calling it a...
All right, so we already seen that. All right, so there was another one I just ran across. Andy, the people that your station hasn't put anything on social media as far as YouTube or any other social media yet. They're basically just live. But I did find this. This is everything that they know so far regarding this situation, guys. Let's go here. Hold up. And this is in Detroit, guys.
Attack on a Michigan church. The suspect igniting a fire, then opening fire.
Canlis Road at Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints across the Holly. Active shooter on this location and the building's on fire.
The death toll rising as first responders combed through the debris of the church. Survivors in shock.
He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me.
We were worshiping our Savior Jesus Christ, and then this happens. But it's not shaking my faith.
We begin tonight following the deadly attack on a church in Grand Blanc Township. Welcome to 7 News Detroit at 11. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Rudolph Olsenida. 4 people killed, another 8 shot and wounded, others potentially still unaccounted for.
The scene just devastating. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a total loss tonight. Investigators say the suspect set the blaze, inciting panic, then started shooting.
And take a look, this photo showing the suspect's truck smashed into an exterior.
Hey guys, let's take time to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Most definitely subscribe. We on the road to 50K. We need all the subscribers we can get. So subscribe, and also take time to double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device. That's how you hit that like button, or you can simply click those 3 dots and hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel, guys. Here's a picture of the dude's truck right here. You see those 2 American flags? They're saying that he had gasoline in the back. He basically rammed his truck through the front of the church, guys. Pulled out a gun and unloaded fire on everybody inside the building. Police came and basically unalived him. Man, this is crazy. And it says 4 unalived and 8 injured, but we have found out that the total now is 5, guys. 5. The dude who did it is at the top of my screen. His name is Thomas Jacob Sanford. He was 40 years old, a military veteran of the Iraq War, and served in the Marines from 2004 to 2008. This is crazy, guys. Let's get 500 on that like button, guys. Let's get 500 on the like. Click the 3 dots, hit the thumbs up, and most definitely, or if you're on a mobile device, double tap that screen. Hold on, I pressed on the wrong thing. Hold up. Here we go.
Police shot and killed that suspect in the parking lot. Witnesses telling us he was still shooting at people outside the church. The suspect has been identified as 40-year-old Iraq War veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford.
7 News Detroit anchor Mike Duffy joining us live from the scene once again. And Mike, the church is still blocked off tonight as crews search the debris for the possibility of more victims being in there, which is just heartbreaking to think about. Mike?
Carolyn, Ruda, it really is heartbreaking. Of course, the concern tonight is for the people who went to church and who have not come home. Investigators say there are some people still unaccounted for without saying a definite number to us. Here's what we know so far.
People are still missing, guys.
4 people were killed, 2 of them shot, 2 others found in the debris. Their cause of death not yet determined. 8 others were shot and wounded. 1 in critical condition tonight. The shooter shot and killed by officers at the scene.
Let's get Aaron up out of here while he talking about YouTubers subscribe. What do you mean YouTubers subscribe? I'm gonna most definitely tell people to subscribe to my channel, man. We trying to make it grow. We trying to get as many subscribers as possible. I'm most definitely up late covering this whole entire situation, bringing it to people like you who want to know what's going on. So I would suggest that you wouldn't be sarcastic in my chat, you know, because we got more rockets than Elon Musk, and we deport people faster than Trump, man. You know what I'm saying? Mess around and find out, you know, down there trying to be funny. Intake the information. And if you don't want to subscribe to the channel, you don't have to. But I'm speaking to the people that would like to subscribe and support the channel, you know, rather it's by hitting the like button, you know, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't start with me, dog.
Suspected explosive devices found in his truck, but investigators say it's too soon to say if they were used in the attack. No word tonight on a possible motive or if the suspect had any ties to this church. Of course, we're going to be looking into that further. Now, we're bringing you Team 7 coverage.
They haven't said a motive yet. I seen somebody say, why did he do this? They haven't said a motive yet. Annie says that she lives in Michigan, basically, according to her news, that they're saying that he hated certain groups, particularly black people, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, but that's basically what she put in my chat, you know, as far as maybe a motive. But the thing that's throwing everybody off is that he went into a predominantly white church, you know, a Mormon church, and did what he did there.
Tonight, hearing from those who were inside the church, the community, who's trying to make sense of all of this. We're also live at the suspect's home as investigators continue to look for answers on that property. We begin with 7 News Detroit reporter Tiara Braddock. And Tiara, police investigating several other bomb threats tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right, Mike. And they are investigating that, and they said those were not credible, but they want people to remain vigilant. So if you see something, say something. And I know that just adds to the already overwhelming sad day people are experiencing here, and also the months to come. This is something that this community will never forget.
I'm sure it'll hit me later tonight, just how close I was to possibly dying.
Churchgoer Paul Kirby recalling the frantic moments when his church came under attack.
Once I got with my family, gave them a big hug, and it's just the fear of losing
y'all.
them was
somebody that was there when this took place.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of this incident. It's could have been completely avoided.
Chief William Rennie gave a brief update Sunday evening on the Grand Blanc Township shooting. Unfortunately, 2 more people have died. He did not specify whether or not it was from gunshot wounds or from the fire at the church. He added that the church is a total loss and it has not been cleared yet.
These first responders right now, they're in recovery mode. They're trying to fight through all the debris from the fire.
We also learned the FBI is leading this investigation and are looking into it as targeted violence. The ATF is also assisting.
All indications on this investigation are the suspect used an accelerant of some sort, we believe gasoline, and lit the church on fire.
And Chief Rennie also wanted to acknowledge the heroic actions of law enforcement and the members who were inside the church at the time of the shooting.
They were shielding the children who are also present within the church, moving them to safety. Just hundreds of people just practicing their faith. Just extreme courage, brave, and that's the type of community that we are.
Such an unfortunate situation, and as you heard the chief say, there were hundreds of people inside that church. Now, if you know someone who is unaccounted for, I want you to remember this number, 248-705-7352. You can also find that number on our website at wxyz.com. You can call that number and connect with police if you have someone who is unaccounted for. Live in Grand Blanc Township, Tierra Brada.
People still missing, guys. That is crazy.
Okay, Tiara, so many unanswered questions still tonight. Now here's what we learned tonight about the suspect. 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford is from Burton. He's a veteran of the Rock.
And this is the guy that's at the top of my screen, guys. The picture that's up there at the top, this is Thomas Jacob Sanford. You know, this is the guy that they are saying that is allegedly responsible for all of this up there at the top of the screen, y'all.
War, serving in the Marines from 2004 to 2008. 7 News Detroit reporter Derek Cunningham joining us live from Burton, where Sanford's home has been surrounded by investigators for hours. Darren, what is the latest there?
Yes, Mike, a short time ago, 2 more pickup trucks with investigators showed up to the scene, joining several others, including the crime lab unit, which is in the driveway, Thomas Sanford's driveway. We are 8 miles from the church where the massacre occurred. Authorities are in the home searching for clues. Now, it's unclear at this point what, if anything,
I don't know,
they've
Pandy.
recovered.
It's impossible.
Prior to the home search, the bomb squad was out here at Sanford's home for several hours preparing to execute a search warrant this evening. Now, as you heard a moment ago, the ATF mentioned a suspected explosive devices found at the church, at his truck, that is, at the church, and how the suspect used an accelerant, possibly gasoline, to set the church on fire. So the bomb squad here took extra precaution at his home. They cleared the home, making sure it was safe for investigators to go in. In addition to Sanford's home, I understand there are potentially other structures on the property for authorities to search. Now, I spoke with residents about the suspect, Thomas Sanford.
Shout out to Michelle. It says Michelle, hold on, received the membership. Hold on, man, what's going on? Michelle sent 50. Hold up. Shout out to Michelle for gifting 50 memberships. Yeah, shout out to you, Michelle. Thank you very much. I most definitely appreciate it. If you got one from her or received one from her, make sure that you thank her for that membership, because she didn't have to do it, but she most definitely did it. Shout out to Michelle for those 50 gifted memberships, guys. There are plenty things inside of members only. We got a lot of members only content. Feel free to check it out. Use your membership to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Michelle for gifting those 50 memberships. I appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you very much.
When he came over here, he was real nice, man. He's my best neighbor I ever had, I think, in a long time, but I don't know what happened to him.
I might need to give Michelle a wrench.
He was friendly as heck. He'd come over here and have
to Michelle.
Plow out the driveway, and yeah, heck yeah. Oh, it's really bad because, you know, you watch on TV all the time, like it happens here.
Hold on, man. I'm gonna slow that down, man. That's the most memberships I ever got at one time. Michelle, thank you very much. Michelle, type again. I'm gonna give you a moderator wrench. You most definitely deserve to be a moderator over here, man. You know what I'm saying? If you would like to be, shout out to Michelle. You need to type again so I can give you a moderator's wrench. Yeah, for real. You did that. Shout out to Michelle, man, for showing love, man. You know what I'm saying? She most definitely did it when most wouldn't. I most definitely appreciate you, Michelle.
Wow. He's getting close to home.
Don't know the suspect, but I just was speaking with somebody in the church parking lot back over here that is a really good friend of his. Said he was a true stand-up guy, would do anything for anybody. As to why something like this happened or why he would go this way because of the type of person he was.
All right, now as you take this look here at the crime lab here, the scene outside of Thomas Sanford's home, a number of neighbors told me familiar with the suspect came up to me say about an hour ago asking what happened to Sanford's wife or significant other and children. That at this point we do not know. Lastly, I just want to give context. Once again, we are 8 miles from the church where this occurred, and standing here, we're a few hundred feet from Sanford's home. Standing here, you can see that there is a church on either side, on each side of Sanford's home. And so as investigators search his home, they're hoping to uncover a possible motive. Live in Burton, Darren Cunningham.
I hope that is that the right Michelle? Michelle, is that the right one? On my screen, it just shows an M, but I see a picture on this one. Michelle, is this the right Michelle, guys? Let me know. She said, love your channel. I get a, she said, tomorrow I'll be a member. I get paid. Love your channel. Absolutely. Most definitely got you in there if that's the right Michelle. Most definitely appreciate you, Michelle. Thank you. If that's the right one. I don't know why I just got an M. I think that might be the right one. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna most definitely mod you up because I most definitely appreciate you. If that ain't the real Michelle, they said, no, that's not the right one. Y'all saying that ain't the right one? Let me know real quick. Michelle Chart. Okay, all right, bet. All right, Michelle. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold up. I might have modded up the wrong one. Give me a second. All right. Well, when with Michelle, not the picture one, I haven't joined yet. Okay, I bet. Okay, well, I don't know where the other Michelle is. She ain't typing nothing yet. Michelle, if you still in the building, Michelle Charles, go ahead and type so I can give you a wrench.
7 News Detroit.
All right, Darren, a lot of people are going to be asking themselves why they didn't notice something sooner. Thank you. Now, the FBI now leading this investigation. They're asking for tips from the community. You can go online or call with any information that you might have. This attack described as shocking and confusing by those who went through it. Today we spoke with Brian Taylor, who was shot at as he was helping others escape.
We were trying to gather as many people as we could. There was a couple of elderly ladies that we were trying to get into safety, so we got them into our car. I saw the active shooter come out of the building, and at that point I started trying to drive away. He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our window.
But even if she was just breezing through, I found a way to get her through the membership she gifted. So she most definitely got a wrench now. Even if she haven't typed, we most definitely got her, guys. Shout out to Michelle. Man, if you got one of those memberships, thank her and most definitely keep it going.
Shield and just missed me, and luckily everybody else. I think this is just glass shrapnel that got me. And then we got out, and then now we're just trying to kind of find out why and how and what happened.
Now I'm joined tonight by Randy Wembley on the scene here tonight. Randy, first responders, of course, arrived at the scene really quickly, definitely saving lives. But it's my understanding that there's also community members out here doing what they can.
Yeah, very much so the case. This attack really touched the nerve in this community, but at the same time, it's also spurring a great deal of generosity and compassion from those within it and strangers as well. A local church held a prayer vigil for the victims this evening, and prior to that, I had a chance to catch up with a couple that brought food And water here for the victims and first responders. They were at another church about 10 minutes from here when the attack happened. As soon as they learned about it, their congregation...
Shout out to everybody that's subscribed to the channel. We have now hit 48K. We 2,000 subscribers 2,000 subscribers away, you know, basically from that 50K, guys. It seems like a long way, but it ain't that long at all. Look how far we have come, guys. We are at 48K. Shout out to everybody in the building.
Congregation began to pray for churchgoers here, and some of those members were compelled to go a step further. Take a look.
It's sad that we're not surprised when this happens, and it was special to us this time because out of all of them, this one got close to where we, went to church also. And regardless of what denomination or political affiliation we have, we need to show support as a community and as people of faith to support what happens here. And so we wanted to come up and see what we could do.
Now, crisis counselors are being made available tomorrow and Tuesday at the Henry Ford Genesis Health Club, and Wednesday through Friday at the Grand Blanc Senior Center from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. A family assistance center will be made available for victims of this tragedy at the Genesis Conference and Banquet Center tomorrow and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. A tragic situation, but a community pulling together in the worst of times to try to have some light come out of this.
And let's hope those community members do get the help that they can. So many people picking up the pieces tonight. Thank you so much, Randy. Now, with the community reeling, Grand Blanc Community Schools is closed tomorrow. No word yet on what that return to learning will look like in the wake of all of this. The church saying in a statement, places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all those involved. Now, Governor Gretchen Whitmer issuing a statement saying, quote, "My heart is breaking for the Grand Blanc community. Violence anywhere, especially in a place of worship, is unacceptable. I'm grateful to the first responders who took action quickly. Whitmer ordering flags to fly at half staff through Friday to honor those victims." Now, President Trump writing, quote, "This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." Lots of healing ahead for this community. We'll be right back with Grand Blanc Township along the way. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Ruta, Carolyn, so many people left to pick up the pieces tonight.
Yeah, it's been quite the tragedy there in that very small, tight-knit community, but a lot of people of course, rallying around each other, so they will heal together, no doubt.
Yeah, Mike, thank you so much. And it's so important to remember just the response from first responders today, and just how thankful we are that this wasn't much worse. A lot of bravery if that happened.
Yeah, they got on the scene within minutes. And
still ahead, church members.
Rangers says so much was lost today.
Now church is gone.
Right now, we are continuing to follow breaking news. 4 people killed, 8 others shot and injured in an attack on a Grand Blanc Township church.
And we have a live look right now at the scene right outside the suspect's home. That's in Burton. The suspect was shot and killed by police at the church this morning. Our Mike Duffy joining us live now from the scene of this horrific attack.
And Mike, church members telling us this was a complete ambush, beginning with that suspect ramming his car right into the doors of that church.
That's right, Carolyn and Ruta. It was a typical Sunday morning until it wasn't. Of course, there's a real sense of shock on scene here tonight. Earlier, we spoke with Paula, who helps with Sunday school at the church. She was helped by Brian Taylor, who we heard from earlier in the show. The group dodging gunfire as they hid in Taylor's vehicle.
It was just scary. I mean, I came to worship my Savior Jesus Christ, and I didn't expect this to happen. Of course, it has. It's, and I've lost friends in there.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And some of my little primary children that I teach on Sundays were hurt.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So
It's sad that there was little ones involved in this, man. There was little ones involved in this. Wow,
My
guys.
children that I teach.
She said something about some
No,
children.
it has, it's, and I've lost friends in there.
I'm so sorry to
She lost friends in there.
hear that.
And some of my little primary children.
And some of her little primary children, guys, which means that there were children that were unalived in this situation, man. This is wow, guys. Prayers for them babies, man. Why do people continue to do things like this, man? It just makes absolutely no sense, man. Most definitely pulls at your heartstrings, man. I can't believe it. Little ones were also involved in this, guys. Prayers for everybody involved, all families, man. This is terrible, guys. Wow. Wow.
That I teach on Sundays were hurt.
I'm so sorry to hear
So
that.
it's very devastating for me. I'm glad that I'm all right, and Brother Taylor and the people that are okay got it out okay. But I mourn for the people who lost loved ones and whose loved ones are hurt.
Wow.
And tonight, investigators are still combing through the debris of that fire just about 300 yards from where we're standing right now. The church, a total loss. Several people are still missing. So far, 2 people were pulled from the debris. We'll bring you any updates from the scene here, but for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Carolyn, Ruda.
Thank you so much. So many stories of just the horrific incident today. We appreciate your reporting.
Yeah, and we have to keep those families still waiting for loved ones in our thoughts and prayers tonight. As we take another live look at the scene surrounding the suspect's home, we'll step away for just a moment and come right back.
Sad, y'all. This here, man. Wow, guys. I can't believe it, man. Little ones, basically unalived in this as well. At first, I didn't hear any reports on little ones, but they're saying that there was most definitely little ones that were unalived, guys, at the hands of this guy right here, Thomas Jacob Sanford. This is him in the middle right there, man. The guy that they're saying is responsible for all of this drove his pickup truck into the front of a Michigan church, hopped out and opened fire on everybody in attendance, guys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people injured, at least 5 people unalive, some of them being little ones. And there are still people that are missing, that are unaccounted for. They have put up a number for people to be able to call, basically if your family member hasn't came home, man. Mental illness is most definitely real, man. And like I said, this took place in Michigan, guys. Sad situation. He was a Army veteran, of a Marine, guys. Maybe he was suffering from PTSD. I don't know the exact circumstances of what he was going through. I know they are going through his home right now, trying to figure out clues as to why he did what he did. But man, this is just crazy, y'all. Really, really, really sad situation, man. Prayers, like I said, man, for everybody involved, guys. We've been in here 2 hours. I done brought y'all basically everything they done put out from earlier to right now. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope that y'all will come back, man. Shout out to Michelle for gifting those 50 memberships. We most definitely hit 48K today, man. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, man. Y'all stay safe out there at these days and times, man. It's just no telling, man, what's gonna happen from one day to the next. America is in chaos right now, and yeah, man, it's getting worse by the day. That's all I can say. I'll most definitely be back in the morning with the latest and breaking news of whatever's going on, including more on this situation right here, that took place in Michigan, guys. Man, this just makes me sad, man, especially when she said there were babies that were unalived and all of this, man. It just really makes you question, your mortality, man. It really makes you question people, man. This is crazy. Was it a payback for Kirk? I don't know, Annie. That was a sad situation as well. No matter how you felt about that man, his views, some of the things that he said, at the end of the day, he was still a human. He was still a man with children, and a wife, man, and a family. It's just, man, wow, y'all. That's all I can say is just wow, y'all. I just be blown away by some of the things that people choose to do to other people in this day and time. People who had nothing to do with anything. They had nothing. People inside their church didn't have nothing to do with whatever he was going through. He just wanted to to do what he did, and it's just terrible, guys. No excuse for this. Y'all are noticing it, all white. Oh my goodness. Didn't know him personally, but we come from the same school. Okay, it was a Mormon church. Yeah, I said that earlier, Tyler. It was most definitely a Mormon church, man. Oh man, golly, man, this makes me want to go in there and just kiss my babies on the forehead, man. And be happy, about whatever. Because man, this is just terrible, man. And every day it just gets worse by the second, man. This is just one of them things, man. Kurt wasn't a Mormon. LOL. Any good reason dropped yet, or do we still not know? No, we don't know the motive. We don't know the motive yet. It'll probably come out tomorrow. He'll probably have a manifesto, like the dude that unalived those detainees in Dallas, Texas, the other day. I also covered that as well. I cover a lot over here, man. This is everything news. If it's in the news, I most definitely cover it. Whether it's world news, celebrity news, local news, we on top of everything news that's going on out here, man. But like I said, y'all, it's 12 o'clock Texas time. That's where I'm at. I don't know where y'all at, but I'm in Texas. It's 12 o'clock. It's time for me to hop up off of here, man. I'll most definitely see y'all in the morning. With more breaking news of like I said, whatever's going on in the world, we'll most definitely be there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give us some more updates on this right here, on this situation right here that took place in Michigan, guys. Y'all, man, love your family, man. Love your family, guys. Love your family, man, because this is getting out of hand, man, and this is just terrible. So, like I say, man, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my members, the old ones as well as the new ones. Shout out to all my subscribers, the old ones as well as the new ones. Shout out to all of my moderators, you know what I'm saying? For keeping the chat rolling smooth, man, and showing up each time I go live. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Like I always say, man, I don't know what I would do without y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I'm finna go. Sidewalk gang, checking out. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all be safe, man. Yeah, man. Love your family. That's the word of the night, man. Go cuddle up with your little ones. Go turn their light on in their room. Make sure they still in there. Kiss them on the forehead, man. Tell them you love them. Because you never know what's going to happen in this world at this day and time, man. It's just getting more outrageous by the day. And with that being said, I'm gone, y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm out of here, man. God bless everybody in here.